Welcome in. We are talking about what is likely going to be the biggest movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. So joining us now, we have our very own Reese Waters and our wonderful Marley Austin. So we're keeping it tight, nice and three of us. We all saw it over the weekend. Still processing, I think, the feelings a little bit because it was that big, and then you come out of it, and I felt almost sad that this whole thing was over. So I'm curious as to what you guys thought after you watched it. After that first weekend.
I was so sad. It was like this feeling of emptiness, that something you love that has gone on for 11 years is over.
You know what? I thought that I would feel sad because it's the end of this whole chapter, you know, phase one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I ended up actually not feeling that way because, let's be honest, all these characters almost died in all 11 of these movies. So finally, we're like, you know what? Let's move on to some different people and some different stories. Obviously, there'll be some of the same characters, but the way that they ended it, I felt like, you know what? I'm satisfied with that.
So it didn't bother you guys at all knowing that ahead we're going to come back to some of these characters, that they're going to make more of these movies? That didn't affect your feelings on this film at all?
As long as the universe's center of gravity, which has been Iron Man and Captain America, changes. Not that I didn't enjoy them, because let's be honest, Robert Downey Jr. might be that might be the greatest superhero performance ever that he's done in these 11. Yeah, well, well deserved. So they're amazing, but I'm ready. Like we're ready to move on.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a sense of peace knowing that these original Avengers are retiring, if you want to call it that, and I'm excited to see this next chapter of our new Avengers. So I think the main focus would probably be on Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, maybe the Guardians.
Spider-Man, probably.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I couldn't help but shake the feeling that this was and will be a monumental moment in film and culture history, because it is 11 years. It is 22 movies that you all brought together. It's not just the money that it made, but it's the reaction that you're getting from everybody around, that you're going to look back decades from now and say, I remember when I saw that.
This is going to have such a huge, significant cultural impact, because, I mean, I feel like there's nobody in the world who has not watched, if not all, maybe just at least one or two of these movies. Like, everybody has had some sort of interaction with Marvel movies, and for this to kind of end and wrap up, I mean, $1.2 billion, how many people had to go see that?
Yeah.
So many people have seen this movie, that's crazy.
One of the things that I did that made it worthy, I thought, was that they wrapped up all of the outlying questions that they had from all of these movies. They paid off all of these movies, and my personal favorite part of the movie was when they literally went into those movies.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I
It was
thought
very
that
meta.
was an amazingly epic choice that they made. They had the footage, they pulled it off well, and if you saw those movies, it was another Easter egg for you, if you remember those movies in great detail.
And even if you didn't, I think you could still appreciate what you were watching, and I think this almost ties into this other big piece of culture in terms of Game of Thrones or television, is that you have all these people watching and you come back to these stories week after week, whereas in this case, you're coming back to them year after year, sometimes 3 years down the line.
I had heard so many theories of time travel, like maybe we'll go back, maybe we won't, and then literally in the theater, when they went back to New York 2012, I was like, this is really happening. We are really going back in time and revisiting all these old movies and all these classics that fans have come to love so much, and I was so excited to see that play out on the big screen.
Now, can I get to my issues?
Give us the bullet points.
Starting with number one, Captain Marvel. For Captain Marvel to be such a principal part of that film and the battle, they didn't build her up nearly long enough.
Well, they filmed her role in Avengers before they even wrote or filmed Captain Marvel. So I think they really didn't want to put her in the movie too much because they didn't know what her character was going to be like.
But she's so significant in the movie.
Right, but I didn't make the movies. So I don't know what you.
So that was one of my issues. My second issue: how can my man Sam be Captain America? He's going to lose the first battle, and Captain America's finished forever. Clearly, Bucky Barnes should have been Captain America. Give me a break. That's like Captain America, me being boys with Captain America, and he gives, you know what, you got it now, player. I'm like, no, I don't. Next problem, okay, you came out of Infinity War with Star-Lord as unwatchable, because I was so furious with how he ruined what could have been an easy win against Thanos. Now, You let Gamora, you let Nebula that you don't like kill the Nebula from the future that told you you're going to be murdered by that? What's wrong with you?
Hard to see.
You just stand there and let that happen?
It's hard to go with that. Okay,
right.
move on to your next part.
That's setting up Guardians
Agreed.
Volume 3, which
But
is
I don't
coming
want to
out.
watch it because I hate both of them now.
But you need to watch it to get closure for this problem that you're
Fair
having.
enough.
Okay,
All
move
right.
on.
Is Idris Elba alive? What happened to Idris
he's dead.
Elba?
He's totally dead.
He's dead?
I think
No,
if
he
you're
died,
dead
yeah.
pre-snap, you're done.
Okay, and last, not enough Korg.
Not enough
I
Korg.
need more
Not
Korg.
enough Korg. Okay, so let's wrap up with final thoughts then. Whether that's what you want to see moving
Yeah.
forward, what you're looking back on, but we can put a bow on it.
Final thought. This is like Reese's final thought, but it's my final thought. I loved it. It made me so incredibly sad. I'm really excited for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know that they've got some tricks up their sleeve. This is not the end.
I would say the degree of difficulty because of the expectations and the buildup,
Yep.
and then the length when that leaked out was very, very high. And
Yes.
they actually managed to meet and exceed that despite the lack of Korg. I thought they did a fantastic job.
I will piggyback off you and say that I was not only impressed but blown away by the scale at which they achieved that, and I am incredibly fascinated by how you play with that feeling moving forward, because I think you could possibly achieve that kind of high 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, but can you? And are we as audiences going to be okay if it doesn't quite reach that level again?
That's true. Like when they go back to Black Panther 2 or the next Spider-Man, these kind of one-offs
and I'm curious if the reaction, if it only makes $1 billion, $1.5 billion, is that still okay, and are we still okay with that both business-wise and audiences-wise? So I think it's going to be really interesting.
You have to find a better villain than Thanos, and that is going to be the hardest thing.
Yep. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, tickets are already running out for its second weekend.
Rest in peace, Idris Elba.